Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and partners. I'm very delighted as chair of the board of the library to welcome you here for the opening of the JLF London. As it's been said, it's the 12th time that JLF has been to the UK, and we've managed to have it here in the British Library 9 times. So we're absolutely delighted to have you with us. It is, of course, an honour, but as you have just said, this evening is tinged with such sadness. So we do feel intense sorrow on hearing of the terrible news yesterday of the plane crash in India. And like everyone else, our hearts go out to the families of all those who lost their lives. We usually have the High Commissioner, as you know, here with us this evening, but of course he has other duties related to the terrible events of yesterday. This festival, as most of you here know, is really part of a very long, rich, and indeed flourishing connection between Britain and India. It spans family and community connections, trade and learning, and of course, art and culture. This library looks after some of the most significant collections from the region outside of the subcontinent itself. And our work we like to share around the world through our digitization of our most important objects. And we have many ongoing programs, and we hope that you will have the opportunity online to explore them. Very recently, those connections which we in this place hold so very dear are getting stronger. I'm delighted that the British Library is one of the 6 UK institutions included in the UK-India Programme of Cultural Cooperation. Agreement signed last month between the UK and the Indian governments to enable more partnerships between UK and Indian cultural institutions and support commitment to work with partners around the world to advance knowledge and mutual understanding. And I know from my last visit to India, when I went to some of the cultural institutions there, how much they wanted a formal relationship with us. And although it's taken a little while for that to come to fruition, we're absolutely delighted about it. Well, of course, the festival over the next 2 days is much smaller than its parent festival, but the quality and the range of the sessions being presented tomorrow and Sunday are equally fine. I would like to congratulate Namita, Gokhale and William Dalrymple. I'm not sure I've seen William. He's not arrived yet. Well, we can thank him when he comes for another exceptional programme. It's full of brilliant writers and enticing themes, and we're very much looking forward to it all. And it looks as if the weather is going to favour us as well. And then finally, I'd like to thank Sanjoy, Managing Director of Teamworks Art, the producer of JLF. His tremendous dedication and the very talented team he brings with him, and how they worked so hard to make this an amazing event at the library. There are also many other supporters and partners, and I too would like to thank them for everything they've done to make it possible. So thank you all for coming this evening. I do hope you're going to have a wonderful evening and that you will be joining the festival and have a wonderful 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dame Carol Black. It's our pleasure to be at the British Library year on year, an iconic building and an iconic partner with hopefully an iconic festival. And now It's my pleasure to call on stage my boss, Sanjoy Roy, Managing Director, Teamwork Arts, with the long hair and a few stitches on his leg, but he goes on.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the 12th edition of JLF here in London at the British Library. We're absolutely delighted year on year to come back and meet so many of our friends. Dame Carol Black, the chair of the British Library, has been a guest at the Jaipur Literature Festival in a number of years. Jamie and his colleagues have also been there. And we look forward to a continued association with this wonderful institution. It's really at the British Library that a lot of historical books on India are written, because this is where the archives and the Indian content sort of resides. So many of the writers in this room are very familiar with this place, and it really is a crucible of knowledge and information. In today's AI and technological-driven world, as yesterday Jamie asked me to sort of introduce the idea of digital and creativity, one of the things that I said is that creativity is and continues to be at the center of everything that we do. How many of you are familiar with using AI? How many of you use your phones or have a phone? Right, so everybody who has a phone has used AI. Whether it's your WhatsApp, whether it's your Google search, whatever you do today, you are already using AI. So it's not the big frightening thing that it's made out to be. It is something that's become part and parcel of our life. But the importance is, how do you use a technology? It's like, how do you use a knife? You can use a knife to kill somebody, or you can use a knife to cut a cake and celebrate an occasion. AI and technology is similar. We can use AI for good, or we can choose AI for all the stuff that's not so good, including pointing bombs at people. It's really, at the heart of this is the creative process. It's the technology that will help us, but within that, whether it's the storytellers, or whether it's the gaming people, whether it's the wonderful publishers, everything today uses technology and AI. And rather than shunning it, please look at how we can use this to be much more creative and take our world forward to a much happier place. This weekend, as you all know, we will be celebrating books and ideas and music and so much more. And this, in many ways, again, is a bridge between India and the UK. Do we need bridges? You bet we do, even as the world falls apart and everybody wants to shoot at each other, which seems to be the easy thing to do. Hate. It's the easiest thing to do is to hate. Much more difficult is to love and respect each other. And books and ideas is one way to be able to push back on that idea of ignorance, and through ignorance, as we know, hatred, and through hatred, violence. And that's the reason we celebrate JLF, not just here at the British Library, but in 9 or 10 or 11 different cities across the world. This year we will be adding 2 more in North America, a place that really needs to perhaps rediscover what it means to respect other people who may not be like them, and to respect knowledge. Institutions, universities, and libraries are at the forefront of this very difficult period. They are being beaten up on. And I keep saying UK continues to be one of the few countries today where you can stand on a stage like this in an institution like the British Library and talk about difficult issues without necessarily looking over your shoulder as to who's going to come and get you. And for that, we need to celebrate the United Kingdom's, the British Library, and everything that knowledge means. On behalf of Namita Gokhale and William Dalrymple, our co-festival directors, and my producer colleagues, Kritika and Sharupa, and all our colleagues in programming, welcome to this 12th edition of JLF here. And on behalf of my colleagues, a big thank you to all of the British Library folks who really help and love and own this festival. We are sad that Conrad, a former colleague who was with us even at the British Council, is now going to be leaving here at the British Library. I think this is going to be his last weekend before he leaves. We wish Conrad the very best as he moves forward and takes over, I think, with the Storytelling Museum in Oxford. And we look forward to working with Conrad. So Conrad, wherever you are, somewhere in this room, thank you. Are you here, Conrad? Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything, and may you continue to be supportive of the arts. Thank you. And so that I'm not remiss, thank you to all our wonderful speakers for coming out here. Javed Saab is here, Shashi Tharoor, you'll hear in a bit, Sunana, Jayashree, Berman, and of course, our Booker Prize winner for this year, Banu Mushtaq. For her translation of short stories, it's absolutely exceptional that she was able to get the Booker Prize, and more power to her. To tell you a little bit about the program, please welcome Festival Co-Director Namita Gokhale, who's also celebrating the 40th anniversary of the publication of her first book, Paro. When Paro was released, Paro created a sensation, and I think it got her expelled from university as well. But as we can see, she's gone on to now author 21, 22, 25 books. So, ladies and gentlemen, Namita Gokhale.
It's wonderful to be here again. And I have to make the apology, which I make every single year, that you have people who just speak from their hearts and their minds, like Shashi or Sanjoy or everybody else, Javed Saab. Just turn on the tap. But I write out a little speech which I read out. So for that, your patience. We are grieving today for the travelers, for those setting out from home, for those returning home, and who lost their lives yesterday, and that's a sad note on which we begin. Thank you for joining us here today and remembering books and poetry and the arts which help sustain us through loss and through hurt and through so many things. Our London edition is a vibrant affirmation of multilingual, multicultural literary exchange. We have the first Kannadiga Indian writer who won the Booker Prize for her translation, for the translated book, and so on. We have Javed Akhtar Saab, who is fluent in so many languages and so many tenors, who's going to come up with some very startling thoughts, as he always does. And so at this time of uncertainty, transformation, we turn to stories to help us navigate, understand, perhaps even heal our wounded world. London, with its rich literary legacy and uniquely diverse cultural fabric, offers the perfect setting for such dialogues. This year's program, which my co-director William Dalrymple, presently missing in action, producer Sanjoy Roy, and I have crafted with great care, promises an exceptionally compelling edition. Our opening session today with Shabani Basu in conversation with Shashi Tharoor will take us for a journey through the layered, often eccentric, always fascinating world of Indian English, beyond Hobson Jobson to how it is today, one of the most spoken dialects of your English. When we are very honored to present Kannada writer Banu Mushtaq and her translator Deepa Bhashti, who are the winners of the International Booker Prize 2025 for the luminous collection Heart Lamp. These stories illuminate the lived lives of Muslim women in South India, tales shaped by both tradition and resistance. She is not just a demure lady in a beautiful sari, she's also an activist and a lawyer and a believer in all the things she believes in, and a fine writer. So it's a big clap once again for her. And then we have my favorite author of them all, Javed Sahab, poet, beloved poet, lyricist, screenwriter, who will join us for 2 captivating sessions, which I'm not going to miss. There's one on Urdu in India and India in Urdu. And another one that journeys into the heart of Indian cinema, which is quite aptly titled, Blame It on Bollywood. Then there's the Palestinian writer Yasmin Zahir, who's a winner of the Dylan Thomas Prize 2025, of which I confess I was the chair of the jury, that it was a unanimous decision for this book, which is a provocative, timely debut novel called The Coin, which is a deeply moving account, a disturbing account in New York of identity hurt and alienation. She's a talent to watch out for. I don't know if she's here, but we will discover her in her session. We are also joined by a stellar lineup of writers, poets, including the ever-inspirational Hanif Qureshi, who speaks to us of language, illness, redemption, and healing of words and of writing. Then this year's sessions open up a mind-bending spectrum from colonial gardens and the poetry of nature to the architecture of crime and deep-sea digital disruptions. My co-director, William Dalrymple, will discuss empire, archives, and his latest book, The Golden Road, which traces the storied past of ancient India. Renowned historians Ira Mukhoti and Manu Pillai will share insights from their recent works, bringing history alive with nuance and clarity. The irrepressible Shobha De, she's here, she shares her views on life and living. Then there's the chef, storyteller, and culinary trailblazer, Asma Khan, who will speak of her new book, Monsoon, and of food as both memory and meaning. Malvika Singh will talk of her memoir, In Motion. I don't know how many of these people are here, but they all deserve a clap together. I was being modest about this one because I will deflect from the clap on the next thing, which is my debut novel, Paro, published 40 years ago. And I wasn't thrown out of college before that. I was already thrown out of college when I wrote. And we consider how the lens through which we view women's stories continues to evolve. Much, much more. We take you from the chaos of the contemporary to history and heritage, to journeys through music, science, and digital transformation. These are only some tasters of the joys and treasures we have in store. Do join us, full and immersive experience online or in person, depending on if you have tickets or not, because we sold out quite some time ago. We know you'll find our 2025 edition of JLF at the British Library uniquely enriching experience. Gratitude and deep appreciation to the British Library for their constant support. Special thanks to Dame Carol Black, to John Fawcett, and B. Rowlett, and also to Rebecca Lawrence. Thank you very much. Namaskar.